Hello. You're Sinclair Etchley. You've been missing several months. I know exactly who you are. What do you want?
I've just been meeting some of the neighbors. Can I come in?
Sure, I guess.
All right. Mind if I take my jacket off?
Go ahead. Got any weapons?
Not on me.
Let's see about that.
I'm gonna put my jacket.
It's right over here.
All right.
So how can I help you, Sinclair?
I was wondering if you know about like some of the goings on.
You mean the monsters?
Exactly.
I've heard about some of them.
All right. Mind if I just film?
No, that's fine.
So, what do you know?
I heard of the one that is like the cloud of mist or something.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I saw it the other day. But it's kind of obvious that's government creation, some kind of mind control thing like the chemtrails. And then there's one that my dogs keep freaking out at, the long arms and dark, I don't even know what to call it, looks like an alien. Have you seen any other ones?
Yeah, I've seen those two. There's also like a couple of like small ones. There's like these like mangy looking like hunched over things, and then there's like these furry things.
Like a troll? Or a hobbit?
I guess.
Okay. Haven't seen those.
Any theories on what that could be?
I just have to assume the government's involved somehow. I
Right.
don't know how they couldn't be. They have all the incentive.
You got dogs?
Yeah, they're in the basement.
All right.
Attack dogs, just so you know.
Okay. Do you know about like the like slugs? They're like giant slugs. They got fur. They got arms, tentacles. They've got like masks on.
I've heard of them. I haven't seen them myself, but I don't know what their deal is. It's pretty freaky stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on around here in general lately. I
Right.
think you might be involved some way, frankly.
Okay, fair point.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, first of all, you called me Sinclair when I came in.
I know who you are.
Well, if you've been researching the news, you know there's like 2 of us missing, right?
Yeah.
Well, would you believe it if I told you I'm actually the other guy?
No. Why would I?
Well, let's just say, what if I told you the government actually was involved in switching our bodies?
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
And why should I believe that?
Well, first of all, fair point.
Hold on, let's do that again.
So, this might sound crazy, but me and Sinclair, our bodies got switched somehow.
So you're telling me that you're not Sinclair even though I'm looking right at you, Sinclair.
Yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Well, first of all, like you of all people should know what the government does. And what if I told you that I was finding out about these creatures, so they decided to punish us by switching our bodies so that they wouldn't believe us?
I guess that's a fair point. I mean, it's not even on the scale of crazy stuff the government's done that I know they have done. Even so let's say you're telling the truth and that you are Josh in Sinclair's body. So, what's up?
So, about all your conspiracies, I actually know...
Conspiracies? You mean the truth? About my truth seeking?
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. But anyway, I actually know more about what's going on than you do.
I should hope so.
Would you like to
That's
know?
why I let you in.
Would you like to know what's going on? The truth about what's going on.
The truth according to you. Go ahead.
So this might sound crazy, so just hold on for a second. It all started about 2 years ago. Remember Tony Verne? Kid got into a so-called hunting accident down at the park.
I remember that's what they said.
Well, it wasn't a hunting accident. If you read the reports, the autopsy reports, he had a puncture wound straight through his chest, all the way out the other side. It was a puncture wound. It was not a bullet wound. Mm-hmm. Who do you know of with claws like that?
Well, the long entity.
The long-armed guy. For simplicity's sake, let's just call him Dark, because he's like shadow person, you know?
Yeah.
So the shadow guy and the fog guy, they're actually from the 8th dimension. Mm-hmm. In the 8th dimension, because it's a parallel universe. So, being from the 8th dimension, the laws of physics affect them differently. So they've come here, and now they're trying to convince weak-minded people like Father Brixton, you know, local cultist. Mm-hmm. You're trying to convince them that they're living gods on Earth.
Does Brixton believe that?
Yes. And I think it has something to do with Sinclair. I don't know exactly what happened to him, but he was exploring down in the park. He was exploring the shack, and he found something very strange. I don't know.
Is related to the hunting?
No.
Incident? Oh.
I think he was motivated by it because it's kind of become sort of like a dark tourist area, you know. But he kind of lost his mind. He did this once before when he was in 4th grade, but it hasn't really happened since. So it's he's claiming that he got possessed by some entity.
Can you, now that you're supposedly in his body, do you get any of his thoughts or anything?
No.
And he's in your body?
Yeah.
Do you know where he is?
Not at the moment. I've been watching his YouTube channel. That's how I know all this. But he seems to move really quickly. Like, I don't know how he does it, but he seems like one day he's in one part of the state and in another day he's in another part of the state.
Sure, it has to do with the monsters.
I'm positive this has to do with monsters.
Government-created monsters.
They're not government created. For all I know, the government might be involved, but I don't think they're created by the government.
Where do you think they're from? Just interdimensional beings?
Well, I think the big two, you know, Dark and Fog, let's call them, I think they're certainly involved. I think they're certainly from the 8th dimension because they've...
What are they even doing here?
I told you, they want to make people worship them.
So they want to rule the planet, in other words.
Or more than the planet.
The dimension.
I guess. But anyway, they've sort of been raising other creatures, like the hunchy, mangy things. I call them the its.
The slugs.
The slugs. I call them masks because they got these masks on. A mask killed my friend's brother.
Killed?
Yes.
How?
With its tentacles? With its arms? It's... I don't like thinking about it.
Yeah. Well. Has not been too fun around here lately.
Really?
With all those things, whatever they are, running around. So
Yeah.
I think we should figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Stella, she's actually the first neighbor I met around here. Mm-hmm. She told me...
Sweet lady.
Yeah. She told me you might know something about Sinclair.
you have to forgive me. It's still weird seeing you in Sinclair's body talking about Sinclair. But is he involved in some way with the string of murders?
Murders?
Yeah.
I hadn't known there were murders going on.
Yeah, the serial killer.
Serial killer.
Government created serial killer.
Again, I don't know if the government's involved, but can you tell me more about this?
I mean, it seems obvious that they have one of their agents doing all these killings, or to distract from the monster situation.
Okay.
And, I mean, who would be more perfect for that than Sinclair?
Okay. Wow.
I mean, now that you mention it, it all kind of fits, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you know how many people he's killed so far?
8 at least that I've read about. I mean, who knows how many it really has been.
Are there any, like, mysterious deaths that you think might be connected? Like, personally?
Not myself, unless that hunting, I mean, that poor kid, unless he was involved in that somehow. But you said
happened.
That was a dark monster.
That was dark, yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, you gotta be careful out there, man.
Wait a sec.
Especially, I mean, if it turns out that he is killing these people, Sinclair, good luck explaining to the cops that you're not Sinclair. They're not quite as open-minded as I am.
All right. About these murders. You said there were at least 8. Did 2 of them were they the Verns, Tony's parents?
I think so.
Okay. So that one I can scratch off the list. Because that was not Sinclair. At least that one wasn't.
How do you know?
Okay. So remember when the police investigated the murder?
Mm-hmm.
So they called it a double suicide. That was not a double suicide. They found Tony's footprints at the house, even though he'd been dead 6 months.
So it was faked, or what?
Honestly, I think it was Tony. Some things haven't been adding up.
So where's Tony anyway?
I don't know.
They question him?
They fabricated his. They clearly fabricated his death report if they said it was a bullet wound when the autopsy report said it was more in line with a puncture wound, and I don't know if he was actually buried or not.
Maybe a vigilante, or no? You said it was the
No,
monster.
here's what I think. They found footprints there that matched Tony's footprints.
After
And
okay.
and they released images from the crime scene showing these footprints and the sole of a shoe. I found a sole of the shoe that was the same match. It was the same size, same pattern. I found it at Tony's death site. Tony, for some reason, has like risen from the grave. I don't know.
Oh, great! Another monster.
Yeah. And another one of these deaths was it a young boy named Anthony Davis?
Okay.
Was it?
It rings a bell. I don't remember all the names, but
Great, just as I suspected.
what?
I said just as expected. So my friend, his name's Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
He's before I got him involved in all this, he was having a lot of like, I guess you could call them memory lapses. He was forgetting things really easily.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's gotten involved in this, he's been having less of those. But his family's still been having those. Anthony was his brother.
It got to be related to the cloud monster, right?
No,
Yes.
Anthony was killed by one of the masks. I told you this. But the thing is, Anthony was killed, but his parents don't remember him. I'm not sure if anyone remembers him other than me, Ronnie, and a couple other people, I guess. But
So the dark monster killed Tony, and then the cloud monster erased their memories of their own son.
yes,
It's a
I
working
think.
theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's another thing. I found this book, and it tells me things. Like, I don't know how this is even possible, but it updates itself. It writes in itself. And it tells me about the monsters. It told me that Dark, the stick guy with the long arms,
Mm-hmm.
he's the living embodiment of fear. I mean, of hate.
Mm-hmm.
And Fog is the living embodiment of fear. I don't know.
That makes
But
sense.
if we're dealing with actual, like, hatred and fear here, this cannot be good.
Well, next time the book changes, take a picture and send it to me
Alright.
before it changes again, because I want to read this stuff myself.
Yeah, I'm assuming you don't use a cell phone.
No.
So I'll have to, like...
I'll just print it and put it in my mailbox.
You sure the government won't check your mailbox?
I mean, I'll see you.
Alright. I think we've talked enough.
Okay.
Wait a sec. Is that actually a tinfoil hat?
It's my thinking cap, yeah. And also, it's helpful against the mist monster. You know what it's capable of, and that's just another level of protection. So.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah.